Greetings and welcome to my grassroots save with Sandbach United. This is Dugout Man here. It's really great to have you with me again today for what is our latest and first of the second season highlights package. So what we will do is we'll run through all the matches that I've played before the next live comm from every game that Sandbach United play, except for the friendlies, because I don't do the friendlies, of course. But basically, that's because we get stuffed in every friendly, actually. But we do play teams that are much better than us. But if you caught the end of the last video, you saw that we got knocked out of the Cup by Ainsbury. We were hoping to have a little bit of an FA Cup run this year, but it wasn't to be. We were knocked out on penalties. To be fair, they outplayed us and deserved a win. So we won't cry too much about that. But what I'll do is I'll not show you the highlights of that because it was obviously in the last video. I'll move on to the next game. So our next game that we played was a real local derby against Hanley. Whenever you want to go shopping, that is where people from Sandbach would go to. And Berry got us off to a great start with a penalty. Then Muggleton doubled the lead on 62 minutes. And it's all looking really comfortable for us. Muggleton picks the ball out on the wing, swings the ball in, and Chandler Gibson getting a go off the bench, and he scores a good headed goal. Heading is one of his strengths to make it 3-0. And with 5 minutes to go, Baker picks up the ball. A beautiful long ball forward. Dan Smith doing what Dan Smith does best. One-on-one with the keeper, slots it in at the near post. And that was a great result. Sandbach 4, Hanley 0. As you can see, we completely dominated the match. Great to get 4 goals, having gone out of the cup. It didn't affect our confidence, and we were able to press on in the league. So our next match was against Congleton. Again, it's another fairly local derby. Knight picks up the ball from Wicks down the wing and swings in the ball. And you'll never guess it, but Dan Smith scores again. Having a fantastic season, Dan Smith. We're very early days and he's already packing in the goals. Then Lucky Lou finds Wicks out on the right in the 28th minute of the game. A ball over the top. Smith with the goal. And that is 2-0. And that is actually how the game stays for the rest of the match. We were just about the better team in that. It was a reasonably close game, but again, 2 goals from Dan Smith. We've got to be very excited about the way his season started, and we're just hopeful that we can hang on to the guy. We'll move on to the next game. So then we came to the game against AFC Emley. We were the home side, the team in blue, and AFC Emley gave us a tough game, actually. Lucky Lou picks up the ball, sprays it out wide to Prudo. Prudo crosses the ball in, and Lee Knight with a header to make it 1-0. 1-0 after just 90 seconds. Then Dan Smith picks up the ball. My computer was a bit shaky then, but Dan Smith broke through, slot home. That's 2-0, and everything's looking reasonably comfortable. And on the half-hour mark, the ball comes through to Smith. He picks it up. Again, making absolutely no mistake. Yet again, a double for Dan Smith. He never scores hat-tricks. He always scores a couple of goals. But there we go. And then in the second half, with about 8 minutes to go, Barre was allowed to shoot, slots it into the bottom corner to give AFC Emley a little bit of a squint of a chance. And then with all of injury time to go, they score again. Sorry about the jittering computer, but AFC Emley got the second goal. They lost 3-2. It was a good win for us, but we made it harder than it should have been. But AFC Emley, as you can see, they gave us some trouble in that match. They had more of the ball, they had more shots. We had more on target, but it was a good game. We came away with another good victory. And we have to say at this point, everything's going really well in the league. So then we come to a real crunch match in New Mills, our rivals from the previous division. They beat us in the league to win the championship last season, but we did get promoted, and we got off to a great start. 8 minutes into the game, Dan Mills finds the back of the net, and we were 1-0 up. But New Mills are no mugs, and very late on in the second half, the 84th minute, And the ball comes through. Jordan could have got to the ball before our defender, should I say, and slots it home for 1-1. It was quite frustrating, this, because we played so well against New Mills. And then in the 90th minute, as the final minute sounds, Gibson with a beautiful header into the corner. And I've got to be honest with you, I was jumping around the room at this point. Chandler Gibson with a great goal. And then just 2 minutes later, still in injury time, Jones with a flicked header brought New Mills back into the game again, and it was all square. New Mills had the better of the game, a little bit more possession, a few more shots than us, but we were clinical when we went ahead both times, and then a little bit sloppy defensively and failing to hang on to the lead. But all in all, you've got to look at it an away match against New Mills, who are potentially a better side than us, because I don't know how they've done with hanging on to players, but we lost most of our players. So to sit there and say 2-2 at the end of that, I was quite happy with that as a result. Then we come to the FA Vars. We didn't get the run in the FA Cup, so it would be nice to have a run in the FA Vars. We come against Haverhill Borough, should I say, and as you can see, Fuller scores to put us ahead 1-0. That was in the 76th minute, something like that. But with 5 minutes to go, Forster breaks through and breaks our hearts with a slotted hole. It's 1-1, so there were no more goals in the game. The game went to penalties. Misses the first one, and that gives us a real opportunity to take control of this. Belchior Papa gets a game in this match and does quite well. Forster then scores their penalty. Fuller, the hero in the game, scored a goal, also scores his penalty. We lead 2-1. Lawrence then misses. It is 2-1 to us, and they've missed 2 penalties. Lee Knight absolutely fluffs his lines to make it 2-1, but they're a penalty miss ahead of us. Then Collins scores, and that is then White. He's a good penalty taker for us, and somehow the keeper makes a majestic save. And that brings everything all square again. Martin, the Coldplay, Chris Martin, scores. Taylor for us scores, and all of a sudden it's 3-3 in the penalties. Everything's going pretty hunky-dory for us. Cairn scores for them. It's game over. So there we go. It's not been a great year in the Cups. We've seen ourselves go out in the FA Vars second qualifying round. We've seen ourselves go out in the FA Cup second qualifying round. So pretty frustrated on the Cup side of things, but we do want to concentrate on the league. We've got one spot to aim for, and we're hopeful that we can move on to the next game and not lose too much confidence in that. So next week come against Runcorn Town in the league. We are the home side in blue. Muggleton with a free kick in the 13th minute of the game. And we scored a goal, and at least we can rest in the confidence that we can't lose on penalties in this match. Taylor with a long ball forward picks out Dan Smith, who absolutely puts his defender on another playing field, slots it home. That is 2-0. Runcorn Town really struggling 17 minutes in. 25 minutes in, and Wicks picks up the ball on the wing. A beautifully floated cross, headed out. Prudo, Lucky Lou, on his left peg, slots it home. 3-0. Where are you, Runcorn Town? So, into the second half, and Runcorn Town show a little bit of fight as Barrett is sent through. Easy finish for him. 3-1. And that was how it finished. As you can see, we dominated the game, 56% possession, 17 shots to their 9. And another good result. Very happy with how the league form is looking at the moment. It's just a shame about the Cups. So here we are in our game against Paddyham. We are the away side in white. We have a throw in which Baker takes to Mellon. Mellon crosses it, Smith's flick on, and Prudo stabs home. That is 1-0 in the 39th minute of the game. And then Can with a clearance in the 86th minute of the game. Can is a new goalkeeper signing that we'll look at soon. Smith picks up the ball, slots it home. He has scored so many goals this season. And then in just a minute or two later, Lucky Lou picks up the ball, runs, and threads the ball to Berry. Berry slots it home.
That's his first goal for us, but at least he's on the score sheet now.
And that's it. That was the final score, 3-0 to Sandbach United. A good away win. Just one more game to show you before we look at the league table. And the game we're going to show you is the game against Bootle. We were the away side, in the white again. As the ball is lobbed in, a little bit of a calamity as we allowed a guy whose name I'm not going to try and pronounce. He's Chukwu. Yuga Chukwu. Yuga Chukwu. Anyway, that was about the only thing we could say about the game. We didn't play very well. They snatched a goal in the 94th minute. It looked like it was going to be a 0-0 draw. Disappointing, obviously. But let's see where that defeat leaves us in the league table. Now, we sit in second place. We've got 23 points from 10 games, so we've only dropped 7 points so far, which is really good. And the only team that is ahead of us has played 2 games more. So, when we come back for our next live comm game, what we'll do is we'll go through the signings that I've made, which there are a couple. We're going to be playing 1874 Northwich, which is quite a local derby, Skelmersdale, and then Winsford. We've been trying to get this Winsford game, and it keeps getting moved. Hopefully this time it will happen as the third game. They're the 3 games that we're going to cover. 2 of them at home, 1 of them away. And hopefully by the time those 3 games are done, we'll be sitting pretty at the top of the league. I can't wait to play the games. Can't wait to get back and do this. So until then, thank you for watching. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you again soon. I'm Dugout Man, and I'm out.